Okay, so this question was challenging because it's got fractions here, and a lot of you didn't really know what to do with those fractions. Actually, many of you tried to cross multiply between the two fractions, but then if you remember, cross multiplication only works when you have fractions on both sides and they're separated by an equal sign. Well, is there an equal sign here? Nope. So because these are not fractions that are separated by an equal sign, you cannot cross multiply. Well, for now, I'm just going to treat this as one expression. And the only way to simplify this expression is that you work it as a fraction. So, well, it's a subtraction of the two fractions. So how do we do subtraction with fractions? Well, we find the lowest common multiple of the two denominators, and then we make them into an equivalent fraction, and so that the fractions have the same denominator. Okay, so the lowest common multiple of 5 and 3 is 15. So I'm just going to multiply 3 over 3 here, so to make it into a 15, and I'm just gonna multiply 5 over 5 here so that we make these fractions have denominator of 15, and so that we can subtract them. So if we multiply both sides, it's going to be 15 here and over, and it's actually 3 multiplied by the whole thing. So you have to remember that it's 3 multiplied by the whole thing, and it's going to give you 3 bracket and x plus 2 minus, it's going to be the same thing, 3 times 5, it's going to be 15 here, and 5 multiplied by the whole thing, 2 minus 5x, which equals to 2. So don't forget that we are treating this as an expression, but in the big picture, it's an equation. So you don't want to forget that you have a 2 here. So now that we have a bracket and we want to simplify this. So if we want to simplify this one, you just do this, multiply by that, multiply by this, and multiply by that. And then what you get is 3x plus 6, and then the denominator is going to be 15. Subtract 5 times 2 is 10, and it's 5 multiplied by minus 5x, so it's going to be negative 25x over 15 equals 2. Okay, so now that we have a same denominator, we can actually write this in the same numerator. So it's going to be 15 and 3x plus 6, and minus, it's minus the whole thing, okay? 10 minus 25x and equals 2. Before we do more calculations from here to here, we actually need to simplify this and expand this out, because this is actually saying it's the same thing as you having minus 1 here and you're multiplying it to both terms. So if we simplify that, it's going to be minus 1 and minus 25. So it's going to be 3x plus 6 minus 1 minus 10. So it's going to be minus 10. And then minus 1 times minus 25x is going to be plus 25x. Then you have over 15 equals 2. Alright, so I'm just going to move this to here. And then, yeah, so now it's going to be, so 3x plus 25x is going to get you 28x. And plus 6 minus 10 is going to give you minus 4 over 15 equals 2. So, Well, now this looks a lot simpler than what we had initially. Okay, and so because we cannot simplify it any further, I'm going to look at this whole question as an equation now, and then I want to get rid of this denominator. So I'm just going to multiply by 15 on both sides. And then this crosses out. And I am left with 28x minus 4 equals 30. And if I want to simplify this, I'm just going to add 4 on both sides and make it into 28x equals 34. And then if I divide 28 by both sides, I'm just going to get x equals 34 over 28. If I simplify that, it's going to be 17 over 14. All right.